Warning, this podcast contains dragons. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Once Upon a Time, Season 4, Episode 15, Enter the Dragon. I'm your host, Dom. With me is the lovely Clio. And the lovely Rachel.
Hello.
How's it going?
Going.
Oh, it's Maleficent.
Is it just me, or every time when I heard the title, I just thought of Bruce Lee?
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Yeah. I mean,
Bruce Lee.
I'm sure that was the joke.
Yeah.
I just hear the chicken noises he makes.
So what'd you guys think of the episode?
It was pretty good. I really liked it.
Yeah. A lot of things make you go,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, my favorite part of the episode was the reveal about Briar Rose.
Oh yeah, that was pretty.
I mean,
it's like they took both the two different versions and went.
Yeah, because they've been doing that a lot lately, like Frozen, and then the what was the short story called? I forget now. The Ice Queen.
Yeah.
And they took both those characters, and there's two separate characters. Well, that's what they did here with Sleeping Beauty. Aurora is actually Briar Rose's daughter. And
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, in this version of events, Maleficent isn't there when Aurora's a baby, so she never has to get sent away.
Mm-hmm.
But she did the curse on Briar Rose, which is the original name of her from the original fairy tale.
Yep. Yeah, that was kind of cool,
And also in the movie, Maleficent, they never named the queen, so
yeah.
We'll just go with that.
That is true. There's a lot of openings that they leave, and it's kind of cool. It's like, hey, well, I'm sure the people, the writers in Once Upon a Time are like, all right, well, we're gonna deal with this story. Let's rewatch the movie and pick apart the flaws. It's like, what do we not know about this movie? Oh, we don't know her name, so she could be anyone.
She was never even named in the Disney one. She never had a name.
Right.
I also don't mean to speak ill of her, but in the Maleficent movie, she was very dim. She was not very smart.
At least that we saw of her.
She was not very smart.
I know.
Yeah.
So. Yes, that was quite interesting. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. But seeing Maleficent, getting a lot of her backstory too was really, really interesting.
She was strung out, man.
Hot mess.
What the hell happened to her?
Hot druggy mess.
Yeah, what happened?
It was after Briar Rose broke the curse and stuff, and somehow she lost her power, or
she lost her fire.
She just gave up.
She didn't have the will. The fire is really just representation of her will.
But
then she fell into addictive drug abuse.
Yeah.
Drug abuse.
That's what it was.
It was like it was a mixture of the sleeping potion mixed with some mushrooms and
she said seawater. Yes, that was hilarious.
Yes, there's seawater and there was some mushrooms and something else.
There was mushrooms.
Yeah, there was like four other
seawater.
Yeah, there was like four
it was part
other.
sleeping curse, part seawater, and part mushrooms, so part fungus or something. She said.
Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 ingredients.
Toadstool.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. So, yeah, I saw a lot of people kind of, around the internet, different sites and stuff, referring to as a Stevie Nicks of sorts.
She did.
Especially the hairstyle and everything going on. She had.
Was she gonna sell you fajitas?
Her hair was crimped. I'm like, that is. So
it was. It sure was.
So 1990s.
Yeah.
Oh god, the crimping is coming back. It's really scary.
Yeah, no, it was not cool in the 90s. It's not gonna ever be cool.
It came out in the 80s.
Well, don't forget. Technically, this flashback is at least 20 years old.
At the very it depends on when Briar Rose broke the curse. I mean, how long does she wait to have Aurora after she broke the curse?
Well, I'm saying because we know that their time in Storybrooke, they were frozen for 20 years. So it's at minimum 20
There were
years.
29 years, wasn't it?
20, was it 29? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's about 30 years old, 30 years ago then. So.
Well, it's more than that because this is when Snow's not yet grown to be the Snow that we know.
Yeah, she isn't. She's
still young. So
she's still living in the castle.
So let's place this around 40 years.
Her father's still alive.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's about 40
Regina
years.
doesn't have her magical.
Or as Lee Silver would name this episode 15, season 4, Enter the Dragon, also known as When Your Best Friend is an Alcoholic and You Have to Sober Her Up. So it was kind of cool to see Regina come into her life and idolize Maleficent and be like she's what she wants to become. She wants to be Maleficent. She wants that power. She wants to be able to turn into a dragon and all that. And then it's that whole meet your idol kind of thing and find out they're not what you thought they were at all.
No one ever is.
But
questions I had with she was found. Regina was found with Maleficent's book, her spell book, as what Rumpel said. So, first of all, how did Cora get it, and why did she have it? I mean, you would think that wouldn't be something that Maleficent would just be like, here, have.
Right,
yeah.
So...
And she didn't seem to want it back.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that, but at the same time, I just writ that off in my mind as Rumpelstiltskin. I blame whenever I can't come up with a solution to anything or why somebody would do something, I blame Rumpel. Rumpel, in my mind, the canon is Rumpel cut a deal with her. The spell book was the trade-off. Rumpel has knowledge of the future and all possible outcomes and da-da-da-da-da. He knew the spell book was eventually going to lead Regina to Maleficent and put the wheels in motion. So in my head, that's the canon, is Rumpel just set everything up.
I don't know.
I think we've seen it before. Rumpel has set a lot of these things up.
Yep.
Yeah. But I would just that would be kind of cool to know how that came about too. Because obviously...
I definitely think we'll see it. Well, I can't say definite. I'm about 90% sure we'll see it.
Mm-hmm. I love the backstories. Just sometimes I wish they'd give you a little bit more because sometimes you're left with more answers more questions than what was answered.
Yeah, the show tends to do quite a bit of that.
If you were a fan of Lost, this is no strange feeling.
Exactly. I mean, half of the writing team is from Lost, so. I mean, they still slip Lost references in all the time, and we even at the beginning of this second half of the season, during the recap episode, it seemed like every scene that they were showing just happened to include a lot of Lost Easter eggs. I forgot that whole scene back at the very beginning when Pinocchio and Emma come through the portal and they look up. That's Oceanic Flight 815 flying over their head. That's the plane that ended up getting lost, from Lost. It's just it's insane. And it's I don't know.
Sorry, I tried to watch Lost, but I got lost.
That's typically what happens on that show.
No, I can't get into it.
That's one of those shows. This show is definitely very, very similar to it, but it's one of those shows that you really have to sit there and pay attention. And I think a show like this helps ease you into that because these are familiar characters to you. If none of these characters existed in stories previous to this show, you would feel exactly as much lost as you did going into it. It's only because you can relate, Aurora is from Sleeping Beauty, and I already have Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent, they're all tied into my head. But if these were all brand new characters, you'd be like, I have no clue what's going on this show.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, so we get to see the whole backstory of how, Regina helped Maleficent, and then, in turn goes back to Rumpel and learns and is like, yeah, the student has taught the teacher. Mm-hmm. We kind of get that.
She has to be patient.
We kind of get that at the end of the episode too, when it's revealed to Regina after she goes through all these tests that Rumpel is in charge of all of this. He's going through it and he's learned some stuff now, which the author, and learn that there may be a way to change everything. So he's learning from Regina now, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Rumple acknowledging his faults in these last couple episodes has really been staggering.
Well,
but he's done it.
But I think it's seeing Belle with someone else is just kind of stabbed him right in the heart.
Oh yes,
and it's wounded him to the point where he's almost human.
I mean, we what was it, last episode? Was it last episode or the episode before? How many episodes has it been since the show came back now? Has it been 2? Or has it been 3?
3.
3.
So in the 3 episodes ago when the show came back, we were like, oh, why? He's just strolling down the center of town? Like, they answered that in this episode. It's like something so minor that I didn't think was going to get an answer. He's disguising himself as people. He disguised himself this whole episode as Hook.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably not what he was walking around as the whole time, but he could do this in make himself look like anyone.
Yeah. Well, where is Hook? Because that would be kind of odd. All of a sudden he goes in and then Hook comes back in. He had to do something or know that Hook wasn't going to be around. Otherwise, there's 2 of them walking around town.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you guys at any point have any suspicion?
Yes. But I
thought it was a little suspicious that he was like bringing up that Rumple might be in town.
Yeah. Hook was there.
Mm-hmm.
Hook was at Regina and the Charmings meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So Hook knew about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As soon as I saw him slide into the seat with Will, with the knave, I was like, is that Rumple?
No,
I was like, no, it can't be. I brushed it off really quick, but my first instinct gut reaction was that was Rumple, because the way he slammed into him, Hook is a dick, but he's not petty.
That's true.
When I saw him do that, I was like, this is not still carrying over from breaking into the library.
No,
I thought it was, because I was like, Hook's got his heart back, right? For a second, I thought that Rumple may have gotten Hook's heart again.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, what I thought was different was that, he was acting different when he was in the library and then when he was at the cafe.
Right. Yeah.
So I think
he says Hook was Hook in the library.
Hook was Hook in the library, and in the cafe with Belle, he was Rumple. I mean, I'm not saying that Hook is a dumb man, but I don't think he could come to that conclusion by himself.
Yeah. And then we really got to see that play up when Hook confronted Belle, which actually, when Rumple confronted Belle, but even just before that, when he's like, Belle had that gut instinct, I think he's here. I feel like he's here. That was very, very clever of Rumple. And, summon him, and Belle's like...
So, to look me, and he just went like this, looked at her, but she didn't look at him, because she was... And it's like,
well... And as soon as... Because I was already suspicious of it, and at that moment, when I saw Hook turn to Belle, I was like, it's Rumple!
Yep.
I flipped out, and then, it was revealed after she walked away, and I was like, I knew it the whole time. This would have been...
I was like, that is not a pirate thing. I don't care who you're talking to. That is not a pirate thing.
Yeah, no.
The oath? No, that was no.
That was definitely not a pirate's oath.
He just wanted to cop a feel.
Of course he did.
Hey, let me touch you.
I don't think it was more of a sexual cop a feel. I think it was more of a, I need
heart to heart.
Yeah, I need to be part of your life again, kind of, Yeah. So you could tell Rumple's definitely.
He's gonna slip up because of his love for Belle. He's gonna slip up. Something's gonna happen.
He's gonna beat the shit out of the knave. Poor Will. Will comes into the season. We've been really dying for him to come in, and he's done nothing but got his ass kicked.
He's a punching bag.
He is.
But then, of course, that leaves you to what the fuck happened to Anastasia.
It does. Because Belle admitted it, and I was thinking, okay, maybe Will's playing her, trying to get something out of the pawn shop, something to help him get back to Anastasia. I'm running through so many different things in my head, but then is he in it for the long game, or, is this like a short thing? And it seems like if he is pulling a con, that he's in it for the long haul.
Yeah, it doesn't seem. I don't know. It just
Kind of
doesn't
mirroring
seem like,
to Lost. This is very much what Sawyer was on that show. He's con man, and it's. I don't know. Every time I see the Knave now, I just think of Sawyer. So.
I'm surprised that the Knave and Maleficent haven't ran into each other yet.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, she's been back a day, so not even.
It's true.
But still, she's been in that flipping diner. Everyone's in the
They
diner.
missed
It's
each
a
other
small
by
town.
1 degree. He ran
Yeah,
into
right?
the other queens, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a small town, so I don't know.
I mean, I'm. What I really want to know is what happened to Anastasia. That's what I want to know.
They're
it
gonna
had to
have
be
to because
something
yeah.
tragic, cataclysmic that broke them apart.
And
I
what
don't think
sent
she's
him
dead.
here? I don't think she's dead either.
Yeah, it's either A, she's dead, B, they got divorced, and you got
Or
into
they-
like a big fight, or
And what
See?
sent him
Very
back?
hot-headed.
or C,
I don't
something
think a
just
fight
split
would've-
them apart.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, we have actual proof, magical proof that what they have is true love. I do not think a fight would have broken them up.
No, something. They're gonna have. I mean, they need. I'm not gonna say they have to, but they almost have to because people that watched Wonderland are gonna sit there and be like, "Give what happened."
And it's not even like they're trying to sweep the events of Wonderland under the rug, because
No.
he was introduced into this season with the Alice in Wonderland book, and he had the Queen of
with
Hearts.
the page
and-
of the,
or
of
the Red Queen, but
printed
yeah.
out.
Yes. So he obviously was still in love with her, and he probably still does love her. But what happened? But they need to, at some point they need to address that.
I'm gonna take a stab at it, and I feel like he did something to betray her, and she banished him. That's my theory.
I don't think she would have done that. I don't know. I think
It
some
depends
other
on what he did.
Yeah, I think it's external forces.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, it really depends on what he did. So.
Well, I mean, if you watch Wonderland, I mean, he did most of his thievery and stuff like that when he didn't have his heart. But when he had his heart, she was more the evil one than he was.
Mm-hmm.
So.
There's nothing to say that he hasn't taken it out again.
Yeah.
He seemed very cold these last couple times we saw him. So he seemed very.
Why is he with Belle?
Well, then,
I don't
but how would he take it out? I mean, Cora's the one that took it out the first time.
We also know
Does
in
she have-
episode 21 of this season, Lee even reminded us in chat that Cora will be in episode 21 of this season.
Good.
Now, I'm going
Did
to
not have enough
assume
Cora.
it's a flashback because that's a safe bet.
Yep.
But they just brought Maleficent back. There's nothing to say, maybe they can't bring her back too.
Yeah, but
It would be great to
I'm
have
just
another
wondering-
major villain, on the show that's not dead, at the end of this season. Because, like we said so many times, all the villains die on the show. Like, they don't go into, like, villain prison or, something. It's like they're all dead. It's not like
But what
there could be a
Cora are we
big
gonna
breakout and they're free to go do whatever again.
Jafar's not dead.
Right,
he's
Jafar is the only one that's still alive.
What Cora are we gonna get?
That's the question.
The young Cora or the old Cora?
That's the question.
I believe it's old Cora.
It could still be a flashback, though.
And if who's to say he didn't take his heart out? I mean, the only other person that could possibly do that would be Anastasia. Did she rip his heart out for a reason?
She could have.
Could she have like sacrificed their love to save him for some reason? We don't know.
I still don't understand why he's with Belle.
I feel like if it is something to do with getting back to Anastasia, Gold's pawn shop would be the first place to start, and she's in charge of the pawn shop. So,
I mean, that's what he did with Maleficent. He tricked the merry men into raiding Maleficent's castle for gold when he was actually after the Looking Glass.
Lee says Zelina isn't dead, but the last I remember, Rumpel stabbed her and she turned to dust and shattered like a porcelain doll.
Well, Maleficent was dust.
That's true.
But he says that Eddie said so, and I don't remember seeing Eddie or Adam state anything regarding her death one way or the other.
I just think I mean, if they did say something,
we do know that Rebecca Mader will be back this season for at least an episode. I was under the assumption that it was a flashback.
It might be. I like to know who her dad is.
But yeah.
Sorry, I'm just stuck on that. It kind of bugs me.
I mean, it is a big thing that we all want to know.
It's a big. It's
still
a big
glaring question.
I mean, who was Cora with? Because we all thought Regina was her first child, her only child, the oldest. Here we find out she had another kid.
Yep. And also, if Zelina is still alive, that does kind of play into maybe Rumpel is under her control still. Maybe that's why he's been acting the way he's been acting.
Maybe.
So.
But I don't know. This seems very. Like this is Rumpel, but like Rumpel went
dark
paranoid
side.
Crazy.
Yeah. It does.
It doesn't feel like he's being controlled.
The only thing that's really controlling him right now is probably his feelings for Belle.
Yeah.
That'd be the only thing. Other than that, he wants his happy ending. He had his happy ending in his hand, and he just let it slip through like sand. And now he wants it back, and he's gonna go any lengths to get it back.
I feel like if Rumpel was still in control, and he went dark side like he's gone, that Will would not even be alive right now.
Well, he can't break his cover.
He doesn't have to do it in front of Belle.
I know.
He just follows Will home one night and snatches him up. I mean, Will's got an apartment there. We've seen it. Chances are he's staying there.
Well,
he's gone completely dark side. He's gone crazy. I mean,
yeah.
Well, he might do terrible things, but I don't think.
When he asked Belle about Will, she's just like, he's the only one that makes me smile right now. I mean, he's not going to take that away from her because he loves her.
Yeah,
he knows that he broke her heart. And
she even said she'll never get over it.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to tamper with Will just because he loves Belle, and right now he's the only thing that.
You saw what Hook was doing with his wife.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You saw how quick he was to try to kill Hook.
Well, that's different, I think. I don't think he really. I think him and Melina, whatever her name was, I think they fell out of love with each other.
Mila
or something.
She
like that.
fell out of love with him. He was still very much in love with her.
Right.
I don't think it didn't seem like love. It seemed like he was scared. He was scared to be alone. He was scared because he was a coward. He was a coward.
Yeah, but then he wouldn't have wasted time going back when he was the dark one after.
Well, yeah, no, he did because he wanted to show up. He wanted to show something. I am a man. I am. Look at me now. Oh, bang my chest. Look at all the testosterone. Show you my E15. That's basically what it was.
I've never banged my chest. I have now.
Metaphorically.
Mm-hmm. You know, it was just basically go back to say, haha, look at me now. You know, you thought I was a wisp back then. Now look at me now. Look what I could do. I could kill this woman that you love and take your hand and blah, blah, blah. You know, it was just testosterone.
Yeah. What was up with the tests and stuff that Maleficent was taking Regina on? Like, what was the whole deal with the train? Like, are you kidding me?
It's like it's magical chicken.
It was the worst because Regina literally waited till the last second to do it, and
the fuck is this train shit?
See, I knew she'd chicken out.
Seriously,
what the fuck is that?
It's a railroad costume.
When did you get that?
Seriously, were they going to let themselves die? Seriously, I don't think Cruella, she's too vain to die.
No, but she is also like this weird Long Island trophy wife. And I don't know if you ever seen 30 Rock, but there was an episode of like a housewife's book club or like stay at home, they don't have any jobs, and it ended up being a fight club because they needed some way to get their stress out.
Oh my god. All right.
Yeah.
Again, is it just me or is Cruella's eyebrows getting bigger.
They're getting bigger! Every episode!
When they showed a close up of her face, I'm like, holy hell, those things are like taking up half her face now.
They're eventually going to come off of her face and go like above her head.
It's part that her eyebrows are huge and part that her eyeshadow comes like this.
Like this, and it makes them just, oh my gosh.
In a dark sweep this way.
It looks like she has black electrical tape on her eyes.
She's got, you know how Groucho Marx has that really fake mustache? She's got the really fake eyebrows.
Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, if she took like one more second to not poof herself out from the train would have hit them all.
Or maybe the train wasn't real.
Listen,
or maybe it wasn't real.
No idea.
Because it was kind of convenient that the train was coming by there all of a sudden. Maybe the train wasn't real.
That's a good point. That could have been just a spell.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it was just a test.
Yep.
I don't know, but I fucking loved that like the sheriff's car was in smolders. I'm like,
they were down in her crypt or whatever it was.
Yeah. And also, those train tracks have to run through Storybrooke, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to get there.
So that's why I was thinking maybe it was fake, because it's like, how is it going to get?
And Regina would have had to have known. She knows the town. I'm really confused.
Where does that train go?
I know.
Or is it the Storybrooke train? Does it just go in a circle around the town?
Like Disney
World. There's like the Christmas tree.
Like the Magic Kingdom. It's just the train going around the park.
That would have been amazing if it was the Magic Kingdom, like, steam engine.
Yeah.
From Disney, yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah. Lee says he's hoping that it was Hercule Poirot. I'm butchering that name. But that was from, what, Agatha Christie novel? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, would have been interesting.
I don't think that train has too much to do with it, but yeah, I think the train was fake.
Could have been. That's gonna leave this big question. Now this train is gonna bother me more than anything else on this show right now. I hope you're aware of this. I didn't even think of it.
I don't know if anyone else noticed. The last couple episodes, the only thing that Henry's eaten is donuts.
Yes, I did notice that. I'm like, what is this fucking kid on mainlining donuts? It's like, what's happening?
I know. I think he needs intervention.
His mothers aren't around to really feed him, and he's only eating donuts.
All right. Well, that begs the question of: we saw that Little Bo Peep is the butcher. We need to know who's the baker and who's the candlestick maker.
I mean, I don't think Granny does. Does Granny do her donuts in-house?
I don't know. She might.
That's a good question.
But yeah, that kid's mainlining, yes. Like you said, mainlining donuts.
Make sure it's chocolate glaze, not chocolate donuts.
Who's running the ice cream shop now? That's what I want to... These are pertinent questions.
These are important questions. We need to know about Storybrooke. They need
give us some webisodes. Fill us in on this stuff.
Or a comic book.
Yeah.
Where's Hook? What did Rumple do with Hook?
Hook's still around. He just wasn't at the places that Rumple was at.
He was at the library. Yeah, he was there, but then what happened to him between there and going and...
He went back to his apartment and took a nap.
I doubt that.
He's tired.
Rumple put a sleeping curse on him. He's taking a 12-hour coma.
Yeah, he's 12 hours.
That might have happened.
You know?
Well, what I thought was kind of interesting is when Maleficent put Aurora in that spell, she didn't exactly say what it was. She said it was different, though.
It was different than the one that she did to Briar Rose.
Mm-hmm. So, and she didn't say how different. We don't know
that the one that Aurora is in is the same sleeping curse as the one that was in the apple from Snow White. It's very similar, and that's the one that triggered the sleep realm that Henry was able to enter, and Charming, and we saw all these other people in there.
I think that's just a general sleeping curse thing, or do you think that's specific?
It might be specific to this type of curse. I don't know necessarily if Briar Rose was able to enter that. She could have.
I don't know. We know that Aurora was able to enter that realm. So, we also know that, God, her parents, Philip, awakened her like just before the curse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The first curse, and she wasn't in the first curse. She was left behind. Her and
Dopey probably took over the ice cream, and the kid is growing. They're all gonna have to do another year away or something. Yeah. But for, I don't know, with I forget what I was gonna say now. Something with Briar Rose and the sleeping curse. They said it was different. We don't exactly know how different.
we don't know how
Yeah,
different.
we don't.
they
Yeah, we
say.
don't know how her original curse worked. Either.
Well,
Yeah, I had something I was gonna go off on that, and I don't remember. Now. Oh wait, I was gonna say that you could tell that her marriage is kind of in shambles now. Briar Rose and Prince Philip, was that what it was?
No,
Stefan?
Prince Stefan.
Why?
It was talking about having a rocky. They were alluding to a rocky relationship there.
How?
I don't remember the exact wording, but to me it seemed like they weren't having the best of marriage.
Mm.
So apparently
okay,
not everybody gets their happily ever after they're married.
I just remembered. But Maleficent pricked Aurora with that one she was using to dope herself up with.
Yeah.
Also, Regina had it and did it to the horse, and she said the horse is going to sleep for 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the same, then they probably they might have did something, put Philip asleep for 100 years before he could wake up Aurora. Because they're married and have a kid now. Yeah. Well, is he going to wait around 100 years for her? He'd be dead.
About.
I'm confused.
No, we saw Maleficent put past Aurora into the sleep.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, that was like 40 years ago.
And he broke it in season 2.
Yeah, it's already been broken.
But we know that time is different in the Enchanted Forest. But when Regina took the same thing, needle that she used on Aurora and put on the horse, she said the horse was going to sleep 100 years. So wouldn't that be the same thing?
No, because so in season 2, what had happened is everybody that was left in the Enchanted Forest was frozen in all the lands that were not affected by the curse were still frozen. They were stopped in time. When the curse broke in Storybrooke, that's when the curse broke for the entire Enchanted Forest. That's when Prince Philip woke Aurora up out of her slumber.
So if it is the same curse, then True Love's Kiss still works.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But we also know that time is a little different there than it is here. Than it is in...
Yeah, but it wasn't 100 years.
No,
in the original, it did. She slept.
Well, the Briar Rose one.
Yeah.
The Briar Rose one, not the one that Aurora's in.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, if they used the same needle on Aurora as Regina used on the horse, then what's to say it's not the same curse?
But I don't get the point you're making.
I just said. I mean, if
no, but I don't.
But why would? But I'm just saying, if everything froze, and we know that time is a little different in Enchanted Forest than it is in, let's say, Storybrooke.
Do we know that though? The only thing that we knew was time was different in Neverland.
I don't know.
That's the only thing we knew for sure. Is they were gone. They were gone for how long in Neverland? It was like one night in Neverland, and then they came back, and it had been a week or something. But I don't remember any time differentiating from when they went into Storybrooke.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just made the connection. It was just she said the horse was going to sleep 100 years, and she used the same needle.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
and she said it was different.
Aurora didn't sleep for 100 years. The spell was broken. I guess she would have slept for 100 years if. She
probably could have, but Aurora broke it after 40 years because they were. Like that. Because if this took place and according to the timeline, right? If Snow White's still a child and 10 years has gone by or whatever the case.
Well, she wasn't really a child. She was, I would say,
she's
early
13,
teenagers.
14. It's still a child. So if that's the case, and then she grows up, 10 years goes by before Regina activates the curse. That went 10 years since Aurora was put to sleep. Then they were trapped for 30 years in Storybrooke. And then that's when Philip woke Aurora up. So she had only been sleeping for 40 years. So.
But I'd just like to know what's different with the curse.
Yeah, I know. She did say it was a different curse. I just don't know what it is. Because True Love's Kiss apparently still worked. It's the same thing that worked for Briar Rose. So, I mean, we're assuming it's the same thing that worked for Briar Rose.
They're going to have to either make it True Love's Kiss that broke it. They can't go any other way because they already showed that it did.
Right. Exactly. So, I would like to know what's different, but we have no indication of that whatsoever right now.
Yeah.
Also, we don't know where the fuck Philip is right now, right?
He's off with Mulan.
What? I mean, we know what most of the other princesses' jobs were in Storybrooke.
Yeah.
We don't know what Philip's job. I mean, he never had. He did. I don't say he.
Yeah, he wasn't there before.
He didn't have any redeeming qualities.
Is Philip in Storybrooke right now?
Well,
we don't
Aurora
know
is,
because she came into the baby thing and made no mention of Philip, and it's like, how could you just show her to us and not tell us where Philip is? Like,
well, and I don't think it was brought up either. But
Eric was the one that was working the docks, right?
Yeah, he was the fishmonger.
Okay.
He was skinning the fish, and then, David, what was he? He was, can't remember where he was before he
in a coma.
In a coma, that's right. He was in a coma.
David was just in a coma.
You know, and the different princes and stuff, they had something going on. And the different
we haven't seen Philip there. We definitely haven't seen Mulan. Last we knew of Mulan, she was running off with Robin Hood and the Merry Men, and then the Merry Men and Robin Hood show up, and she's not there. So we still haven't found that out. I know Adam and Eric. Eric. Wow. Adam and Eddie had said that they would love to get back to the Mulan story. There's just not any room for it right now. So, yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll get it at some point. But...
And, with and obviously the Merry Men are still in, and they know Will.
Right.
And are they going to do
it's just that missing
Maleficent?
gap of where did Mulan go? Because she obviously left.
Was part of him. Yeah.
She didn't come to Storybrooke, or we would have found out. We would have heard something. She's not just going to show up in Storybrooke. It's not going to be like that. There's going to be this big story of why she left the Merry Men.
Or
she
maybe
went to go do something, and why she didn't carry over.
But I mean, this.
Maybe she's in the outside of.
Like, hey, this is how things are, and.
Maybe she's like
Cinderella.
Like how. Yeah. Well, maybe she's like Cruella and Ursula, she's out like in New York or somewhere.
Right, and we still have to find out how they got there.
We don't know how they got there. And then we got the whole Cinderella story sometime soon, hopefully.
We're hoping. See, I'm kind of leaning more toward that we're gonna maybe get some more Sleeping Beauty stuff,
Of course.
That's probably gonna be more this season than anything.
Yep.
But I mean, they could even. We know that the live-action Beauty and the Beast movie is coming out, following the Cinderella one, so they may continue on more with Rumple and Belle. We don't know for sure, and we don't know for sure if the rumors about Robert Carlyle not returning next season are true or not. We don't know. Rumple kind of is the staple of the show, and we saw it even more in this episode of just how intricate he is, integral to everybody's past, and not having him on the show, I feel like they could do it, but at the same time,
that's why
I feel like it'd be missing quite a lot.
I don't know. Maybe that's why they're introducing Maleficent and the women or something. Maybe somehow they're gonna have Maleficent take over him if he does leave.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen so much of Rumple in the past, and we've seen so little of Maleficent in the past. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty good.
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, she's still connected, obviously, to a lot of the characters. in
Yeah.
some way.
While we're on the topic of returning characters, August is back.
August.
I'm so
He
excited.
looked a little scared.
I'm so excited. I was. Why?
I mean, he's
Can-
got five villains.
Can I start by asking what the hell is Marco and Pinocchio doing up at like 2 a.m. in the wood workshop?
They're filling Etsy orders, Dom.
Oh, clearly.
Etsy
know.
orders.
I know the struggle. The struggle
You
is
know the
real.
struggle?
I have an
By the
Etsy
way,
store. Clio, go check me out.
Assassin's Creed jacket. Infamous. That would be very, very
I'm
helpful.
not going to be making a full jacket.
No, I don't. I'll be making the jacket because I have to scale it down to a. She'll be 11 by then.
Yeah, I don't know, the whole Pinocchio thing. We saw the struggle with Regina. Like, I gotta play the villain. She reiterated this to Snow
Emma.
White, to David, to Emma.
Well,
it's just
when
like,
she said it, great.
I have to play the part. Let me do what I have to do. Like,
Well, what she said to Emma was perfect. They spent years. They're doing something that heroes have been doing all along, and that's working together.
right.
Now we have to play by their rules, and we got to take a page from their rule book and like break some rules. They're taking a page from the heroes, You have to start thinking like them.
Yeah, and Regina did the perfect. Emma's gonna insert herself into this. The whole Project Mongoose speech. Regina did it perfectly. The smile
I
and
knew she
nod.
was-
Go ahead. Yup. Okay. Think you're gonna help me. Think you're gonna follow me.
She can handle it.
Yeah,
She's-
exactly.
I mean,
that's the exact word she left in the text message. I got this.
As bad as as weak as Regina was when she first met Maleficent, in a way, she has surpassed Maleficent in powers and in control of that. And she could probably very easily either take out one or all three of them.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't know about Rumple, though.
I feel like
Not
Regina
Rumple.
is like the evil queen. Like, she's stronger than Maleficent at this point. Where, ironically enough, in the Disney movies, that's definitely not the case. Maleficent is, especially like you go into the parks and anything, and they have that the phantasmic light show that they do or whatever, and Maleficent is the villain. She's the big villain.
bad, yeah.
You play the Kingdom Hearts games, Maleficent is the big bad villain. Like, she surpasses everything,
Well, I
and
mean,
it's just
I
like,
went to the show at Disneyland.
In Snow White, the evil queen turned into an old lady. In Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent turns into a motherfucking dragon. I mean,
yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, what is it? In Sleeping Beauty, she turns into an old lady and gets crushed by a rock.
falls off a cliff or something. Yeah.
No, she falls off the cliff with the rock, the big old boulder behind her.
Yeah. I don't know. I really want to
Shit
see.
scared me
I
as a
still want
kid.
to see Madame Mim come into all this.
I mean, I think a version of her, yes.
Would
I
love
was
it.
talking with my aunt at dinner the other day about it. And I was like, yeah, we think that the author is going to be like a version of Madame Mim.
It would be
Or
great.
Morgana or whatever
Or
literature,
Merlin.
King Arthur literature.
Yeah,
Merlin.
because I mean, they haven't given a gender to the author. Everybody's just saying the author.
Author.
I feel like the author is going to be a woman.
Yeah, I think so too.
And
Well, that would explain why there's all these women villains and they are getting shit on.
'Cause
maybe.
She has an axe to grind.
it all comes down to petty cat fighting.
I mean, we really haven't had a lot of male villains when it comes down to it. Like, yeah,
Nope.
Rumple's kind of been like the anti-hero through the whole thing. He hasn't really been the villain. Like, he's the villain, but he's still not the villain right now. You know what I mean?
He's fighting. He has a constant inner fight
Yeah.
with himself.
And
And
Jafar, but Jafar is
He's a
not
genie
part
now.
of the staple of this series.
He's a
a
genie.
spin-off series. You can't dismiss it, but I'm talking about this
The
exact.
return of Jafar!
We
Okay.
need that. We need
what is
that.
it? What if his lamp washes up on shore, kind of like the chest that Anna and Christopher washed up on shore,
I
and
still
their
feel
letter
like the
from
knave
mom.
is going to have some clue as to where that is. That may even be the reason for him coming back, is trying to find it. Because
He has
everything
to.
winds up in Gold Shop, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is something. They're gonna have They need to explain the knave. They can't just keep, letting him get in his ass kicked every episode.
Yeah. But, yeah, like we said, Pinocchio, is turned back into August. Lee Silver in chat is saying, don't turn August back into a child again. I can't stress that enough. I don't
know. Is it temporary? Is it, permanent? We don't know.
Don't know, but I don't want him a child again. I want August back. I want him
August back. Oh, hell yeah.
I don't know. If the show ends, I don't see a problem putting him back to a child. But...
If they keep him as August, love triangle with him and Emma.
No, come on.
They're going to do it if they keep him as August.
Love triangles are like...
They're staples of TV show tropes.
Or with Belle, but I can see it with Emma.
No, Dom, shut up.
They are. They are, though. It's not what I want.
Rules. No,
I'm not saying I want this, Clio, but it's truth be told, every TV show love story has a triangle.
And then, just like I said, like in our other podcast, Shield, when they had two very prominent, African American men, I said one's going to die because there's like this formula that they like to keep with, and and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you follow like we do a show for the Vampire Diaries, and you start off with a triangle. You start off with a triangle in the Vampire Diaries. You get a love triangle. Right now, this love triangle has morphed into like a dodecahedron. Like it's ridiculous. This one used to be. It's like, what the hell is going on anymore? So. It's kind of a staple of every TV series. Out of all the ones that we cover right now, it's in there somewhere.
I think if it doesn't
even American Horror Story had like a triangle going on this last season, and they're dealing with killing people in that thing.
I think if it doesn't work out with Emma and Hook, I just want Emma to do Emma. Just like
Emma's gonna get some toys.
Yeah, but if they do keep August as an adult, they are potentially going to make that triangle. Yeah, because right now there is no rival to Hook for Emma's affection.
But did they?
I'm gonna have to agree with Lee though.
Were they ever in like I'd touch your butt?
No,
position?
I'm gonna have to agree with Lee. He says Swan and August. That's the closest thing Emma's had to a big brother, and I do have to agree with that.
I don't think they were ever in a I would love to touch your butt situation.
Well. Maybe not to him. I don't know, but because she didn't know who he was at first. But you never know. They left. She was what? 6 months old when he left?
Babby.
Come on now.
And he was 8?
Yeah, come on. That's years ago. That's not a big brother. They're not related.
I don't know. I don't think that'll be a thing.
Sorry, 12-sided figure's a dodecahedron. Sorry.
It's a possibility though. It's a strong possibility. Not saying we want it to happen.
I'll be very mad.
Well, of course,
I feel like
no one wants it, but it is.
Of course it's a possibility. Anything's a possibility, but I feel like
the entire time there was the thing with her, Hook, and Neil, I was rolling my eyes. I was like, oh God, stop! Just stop! Just stop! Just stop!
Or maybe it's won't be a true triangle. It will be more of Hook getting jealous that
I could see. I could see Emma and August spending some time together
and Hook
but there's
jealous,
no relationship going on at all through it, and I could see Hook just being jealous of that. Yeah. So.
A triangle without being a true love triangle.
Yeah, I could see that one.
That's quite possible.
Do you guys have anything else for this episode?
Wouldn't that be funny if Maleficent's daughter come back into town and August falls for her?
Lily. We're going to call Maleficent's daughter Lily because we're convinced that that's who it is.
Yeah,
but possibly. But then again, we also want to know who her daddy is. Who the daddy?
I don't know if we're ever going to get the answer to that one.
There's a lot of who the daddies around. We don't know.
Yeah.
Absentee fathers.
Yeah, we don't know what happened.
Oh, and it also looks like next episode we're going to find out what went on between Hook and Ursula, just from the previews that I saw at the end. So I specifically saw
banging.
Yeah, I specifically saw last time on or next time on Once Upon a Time, and you see Ursula grab Hook by the neck or whatever with her tentacles and is like, and something about, oh, last time we met or something like that. So it seems like we're gonna get the answer to that. Next episode is called Poor Unfortunate Soul, which, as we know, is clearly an Ursula.
Unfortunate souls.
It's clearly an Ursula reference.
Maybe he fucked with one of her mermaids.
Maybe.
No,
I don't know. I just can't see them together because she seems so much older than him, and it's just like, ew.
She doesn't seem older.
To me, she does.
No.
Who are we talking about?
Ursula and Hook.
They're not. She's not.
No, they seem about the same age to me.
Not that big of an age difference.
I mean, look at her. She's right there. She's right there. She doesn't look that old.
Photoshop.
Listen, huh?
That is Photoshop.
Oh, that is Photoshop. But we're talking about Hook. Hook is a ladies' man. He definitely got some of those tentacles.
He was a ladies' man, or he stole something from her.
This feels more personal than you stole something from me.
Oh my god! Before I go into next week's synopsis, Lee says that he cannot stand Captain Swan, and he's waiting for Hook to hit on Belle, because why not? He went after Henry's mom and grandma. Why not the step-grandma as well? That's wow. Wow.
No, I want Hook and Swan.
Wow, that's true.
Lee, you can just kiss my butt.
Wow.
I waited so long for the Hook and Swan. It's not even funny.
So, Poor Unfortunate Soul. Hook leverages his complicated history with Ursula to find out what she knows about Gold's endgame. Gold and the Queens of Darkness torture August for information about the author as Emma, Mary Margaret, and David race to find them. Regina grows concerned for Robin Hood's safety while she struggles to maintain her cover with the villains. In a fairy tale land flashback, when a restless young Ursula enlists Hook's help to run away from home, she soon learns it isn't wise to trust a pirate.
Oh. But why would she be concerned for Robin Hood's safety?
I don't know. I'm curious if how much of Ursula's backstory we're going to get, because I know in the original Disney movie, King Triton and Ursula are supposedly brother and sister. They never mentioned it in the movie. It was something that was left out, but...
yeah, I've heard that theory before.
It was in the original script, so it's not even a theory. It was actually in the script.
Some things they leave out like that.
Yeah. And he
it would have made it for a little more interesting.
Yeah, and he banished his own sister from the kingdom, and that's why she was so angry and why she kind of took things out on Ariel. And I'm curious if they're going to intertwine that at all in there. And we're supposed to get Poseidon, I know, in this.
We've never seen King.
So I don't know if we're going to get King Triton or not.
We've never seen King Triton.
Right. We are supposed to get Poseidon this season, though.
Well,
good, because it's been too long. They've been like teasing Greek mythology stuff to us. It's been too long.
Well, that's the thing. Well, if Hercules is Zeus's son, but then Poseidon's Zeus's brother, and then Poseidon's Triton's son, and then their cousins.
Has to be done at some point.
It's like, whoo! It's like, oh my god! They're all connected.
The Triton in the Disney movie, The Little Mermaid, is not a god. Like, he's not
Correct.
He has big nipples.
Huh?
That's what I remember as a kid.
He's big boobs?
The big nipples.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many ways they could go. We could bring back Ariel for all we know to help.
Well, we also know Ariel will be in this season as well, so.
They should, because she's cool.
I don't know. She seemed kind of flaky, and I don't know.
Ariel's always been an airhead. That's just
true.
Character.
But maybe they just didn't do enough with her. She was mostly, one or two lines, and then swam away doing something. They didn't really. You didn't really get a good grasp of her, or Eric for that matter, because.
Oh, Eric even less.
Yeah, we got very little of Eric. Supposedly they found happiness. They're on an island somewhere. outside of the... We don't even know if they're on... What realm they're on. We don't know if they're in the Enchanted Forest. We don't know.
Oh, they could have got off the island. They went back.
Yeah, we don't know anything about where they are. But all I know is Clio said that she just wants Emma to do herself, and if that's the case, we know Ariel's got 20 thingamabobs, so she can get them from her. So
You want thingamabobs? I've got 20.
who cares? No big deal.
It's no big deal.
Ariel was the original stalker, man.
I want more.
She stalked Prince Eric.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of stole a statue of him.
Found out where he lived and
Followed him home.
Yep, she was a stalker. She decided to take her voice so she could stalk him some more.
I'd really like to see them tie in with Ariel the whole that whole theory going around about the frozen sunken ship being the one that Ariel found. I'd love for the show to do
and
that.
Stuff and all that kind. Yeah.
Cause that seems like something right up this show's alley.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
well, there's what is it? The Rapunzel, Ariel, and Frozen.
Yeah. Little Mermaid. Yeah. Yep. I think that about does it. You guys have anything else you want to add?
What the hell is Marco going to think when he wakes up?
I just hope Emma's still there for him,
As far as I'm concerned, he's under a sleeping curse and he's not going to wake up for
Well,
quite
that's
some
true.
time.
Well, we don't know if it was just to knock him out or for
Yeah, it might just have been.
Well, didn't we hear Emma say that she saw Regina preparing the sleeping curse?
She just went poof.
I could have sworn Emma said something. I'm gonna have to go back now and watch, but I could have sworn she said something about a sleeping curse.
It was purple smoke. It wasn't a potion or anything.
No, it doesn't have to be a potion. It could be an airborne. But
No, she didn't take anything out and throw it. She just.
I thought it had to be liquid. Like it had to be the apple or the prick.
I could have sworn she said something about preparing the sleeping curse. I could be wrong. I'm gonna go back and watch right after we're done. And
But yeah,
if you guys want to
what's
weigh in
gonna
the
happen?
comments down below, go ahead.
He's had Pinocchio back as a kid for how long?
Sleeping spell.
And then he's back to August.
Yeah.
He can't fit on that horse anymore. Sorry, Marco.
Yep. Cleo, where can people find you?
Find me at Cleomoto on things and stuff, and at Twitch at the Cleomoto, which I may or may not be streaming now.
Excellent.
That's it.
Rachel, where can the people find your fascination with King Trident's sausage nipples?
Down here at
You
Savannah
said anything about
17.
sausage nipples?
They're like
She did.
pepperoni.
Pepperoni nipples, whatever. I meant to say pepperoni, and somehow sausage came out my mouth. That sounds bad. You can find me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM.
This is where you can find his
Phenomenon.
love of sausage.
That
Coming
is
out of
totally
his
out
mouth.
of context theater. We tweet that?
Can we tweet that? If you tweet that, I will retweet the fuck out of that.
You can also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Until next week, we will see you poor unfortunate souls later.
I admit that in the past I've been a nasty. They weren't kidding when they called me, well, a witch.
Is Flotsam and Jetsam gonna make an appearance?
That's a good question.
That would
And
be...
will they be eels?
I sure hope so.
Maybe Hook killed Flotsam and Jetsam.
Oh.